Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be in part 2 of our snake game. Last time, let me just cancel out today's code. There we go. Last time we did this, we were able to make a green backdrop and snake game by our name. We also made 2 turtle.Turtles for sprites, which are head and food. Now, by the end of this video, however, we will have this. We will have a bunch of functions named, and as you can see, we have our score 0, Highscore 0. This is starting to look like what we had before. In the first part where I explained to you what the final product after all of these episodes would be. So let's look through and I'll explain what all of this means. Also, all of this new code is going to be in the description. So, first thing, we make a new list, a new empty list, by the way, and named it segments. If you don't know what segments means, segments is like a follower or a following or a part of, anything. So the segments in this case are the segments of the snake. So when the snake, in the beginning, they're just a snake head, but when they eat an apple, a segment adds on. Or maybe you'll call it a length or whatever. I'm going to name mine segments in an empty list. After that, we are making a new sprite. So we have made the apple sprite and the snake sprite. But now we're going to make the pen sprite. What the pen will do is it's going to write at the end of this, our score. So when I run this, it's going to write this part, like score 0, high score 0. That's what it's going to write. That's what it's going to write. So, pen equals turtle.Turtle. So we're making a new sprite, like we did before. Again, this is a capital T, and this is parentheses, shift 9 and shift 0. Then we have pen.speed 0, which, like the other ones, is the fastest speed possible. Then we have pen.penup, so the pen goes up. And then pen.hideturtle. We haven't seen this line of code, this function yet. What pen.hideturtle does, actually, let me show you what it does. If I comment this out, you will see a little, it's not here. Strange. Very strange. Maybe it fixes it later in the code. So yeah, pen.hideturtle hides the turtle. You don't know what the turtle looks like. The turtle is a little triangle that draws and writes stuff. So right now, at the moment, we won't actually need this line of code, but later this is an essential line, or else we will just see the little turtle just hanging there at the end of 0, just doing nothing, pretty much just chilling. Okay, then once we hide the turtle, the pen will go to 0 to 60, which is right over here, where it starts the writing. Then we do pen.clear. What clear will do is it clears anything the pen wrote, which so far is nothing. But if we run this twice, when we hit that X button, it should cancel it, or else it will overlap. So this is an essential line of code. Then pen.write. Pen.write is exactly what it sounds like. It writes whatever is in the parentheses. Now this might be a little confusing for the beginners, but I can explain all of this. It's not very hard. All this does is it first prints score 0, Highscore 0. Also, by the way, I have 2 spaces here instead of 1. I think it looks neater in the main frame. You can have 1 though. Now after this, we have a comma because then we're making variables. After every time we do one of these quotation marks, we have to have a comma if we're making a variable. So, scores space 0, Highscore space 0, quotation mark ending, and then comma. Align equals center. What in the world does that mean? Well, I'll tell you. Align equals center basically does this. It makes the alignment in the center. That's all it does. See? This is centered. Right? So that's all that does. Not very hard to understand. Align, A-L-I-G-N, equals to, not parentheses, quotation mark, center, quotation mark. Then we make comma because we have made a quote. And then we do this. We want to change our font. If you don't know what font means, that's the type of text. So this type of text is called Courier. So font equals to parentheses Courier, which is capital C O-U-R-I-E-R in quotation marks, comma 24. Now why is there a 24 in the middle of nowhere? Well, 24 is the font size, so how big it's gonna be. So if I change this to like 10, it will be smaller. I like mine at 24 because it kind of touches the edges in a 600 by 600 square. You can make it bigger or smaller. And then we comma, and then quotation mark, normal quotation mark. Why is there a normal? The reason why there's a normal is because this is normal text. If you've ever been in Google Docs, there's bold, italicize, and all of the other things you can do, underline, whatever. So, to make it normal, we just type normal in quotation marks. After that, we make 2 parenthesis marks. Why in the world 2? Well, here's the answer to that question. There are 2 open quotation marks. There's one at the beginning, here, by write, here. And then there's another one over here, by Courier. If I deleted one, there had to be one here. And then this is like, the define here is like, what is this parenthesis mark doing here? It has to be going up here. And then it gives me a little error. So that's why we have 2 parenthesis marks at the end of line 44 in my case. Now, all this code will just make this here. Now, in this, we're going to define some functions. Also, one thing I want to point out, I'm very sorry I didn't say this before, but remember in the beginning of the code in the last video, we had a win.update here? So, actually, we want to move this line of code to the end because we want to keep repeating this code as well, the new code we're writing here. So that's why my update. I meant main loop. The win.main loop is at the end of all this code. So make sure you're writing it before, and if you're not, no worries. You just come here, delete the win.main loop, or actually you can control exit, or if you're on a Mac, command exit, and then it will disappear, and then you just go to the very, very end of the code and do Control V. So I'll show you what that looks like. Sorry I didn't address this before. So if there's a win.main loop right here, and right now I'm telling you it shouldn't be here, it should be at the end. What you do is you select it, Control X, go all the way to the bottom of all the code, and Control V. That's all we have to do. Then, moving on, sorry I didn't address that before, I just saw the win.main loop down there. Moving on, we're going to make a bunch of functions. If you don't know what functions are basically like blocks we're going to create. And we also have to give them a definition. So here I have define go up. What go up will do is it will make the head go up when we press up. So right now we don't actually see head. We will see head in I think the next episode, or maybe the next 2 episodes. I'm not sure which one, depending on what code we copy paste into here by the end, or what code we learn by the end. But this is what we're going to do. Define go up, parenthesis, parenthesis, open parenthesis and close parenthesis, and then we're going to put a semicolon. What semicolon does is it tells the computer that we have to indent or tab. So here I've tabbed right there. Now, if define go up is called, that's what this does, run this program. If head.direction is not equals to down, that's what this does. Exclamation mark equals to is not equals to down, then head.direction equals to up. You might be like, what in the world does that mean? So let me tell you. So you know whenever you're doing snake game, when you're going down, you can't go up. This is stopping that from happening. So if we're going down the screen, you can't just go up again. You have to make a right turn and then go up after that. You can't go from down to up. So this code prevents that from happening. Okay? Now what you can do after that is you can just copy paste. So copy, and then you can paste it 3 more times and do the following changes. From go up function, change to go down, go left, and go right. Then we're going to change. So if you're in the go down one, then head.direction not equals to up. If you're in the left, head.direction not equals to right. If you're in the right, head.direction not equals to left. Then change these, the next line, to down, left, and right, or whatever the function is. So if it's go down, make it down. If it's go left, make it left. And if it's go right, make it right. So if you don't understand that, you can just copy down this and pause the video and copy down what I've highlighted. Waiting for pause, ding. Okay, hopefully you've written this down by now. Now we're going to define a new move head. Now this will use these functions. Wait, Sorry, it won't use these functions. In the next video, we're going to use these functions, and we're also going to use this function. This function is a little long, but I'll explain it anyway. So, define move head. Move head will move the head, like so. So I did move underscore head for its name, parenthesis open, parenthesis closed, and then a semicolon showing that it has to be tabbed. After that, I did this. If head.direction equals to up. So that means if we're going up at the moment, then, I'm so sorry. What I mean is if head.direction is up, so the up button is pressed, then y equals to head.ycor, init. Ycor is technically means, it's an abbreviation in Python for y coordinate. So whatever the y coordinate is. However, in Python we do ycor. In Python 3. This code will probably not work in Python 2 or 1, by the way, which you should not be using at this time. So y equals to head.ycor, or the y coordinate of the head. And then we do this. Head.sety to y plus 20. If you were a little bit advanced, then you might say this. We don't need this line of code if you want to make it shorter. What you can do, this isn't for beginners, by the way, this is a little advanced, but you can do it anyway. So you can take this head.ycor, because this is equal to y. The y here and the y here are still the same variable. And if this is the value of y, then I could just do this. I could take this and just put it there. And I'll do the same code, of course, but it's a little more messier. So I like it to be a little cleaner. Cleaner code. Better when it's cleaner. So y equals to head.ycor, head.sety, so we're setting the new y to y plus 20. So every single time we press the up button, it'll go up 20 pixels. Now we are going to do the same thing but for down. So if head.direction equal to down, then y equals to head.ycor again, and head.sety, this time y minus 20. So you can actually copy paste this and then change the up to down and the plus to minus to make it more faster. But don't do it too much time, because in the next one we don't do the same thing. In this one, the beginning is the same. If head.direction equals to left, and if head.direction equals to right, same thing. But this time we're not using y. This time we're using x for the x coordinate. So x equals to head.x coordinate, and head.set the x variable to x minus 20, because we're going left. This way is left. So if we press the button, it should go x minus 20 every time it goes. Then we do the same thing for right, but the left changes to right and the minus changes to plus. So hopefully that all makes sense. All this does is it tells if head.direction is up, then go up. If head.direction equals to down, then go down. If head.direction equals to left, then go left. And if head.direction equals to right, then go right. By the way, I actually said that all wrong. It should be equals to, because equals to is used in if statements. However, that is not the same for variables. For variables, it's 1 equals to sign, but for if statements, it's 2. So make sure you remember that. It's a very important line. And then, of course, you have the win.main loop here. If you don't have that there, then go back to where you were, and you should find it here. Delete it and put it at the end. And that's really it for this episode. We've made a bunch of functions, and if you run it, you should get this. If you don't get this, you should try to check your code for any errors. So make sure that the define go up, and then there's a tab, and then there's the if, and then after the if there's another tab. Make sure that's true. Make sure that these are all the same, and I'll just scroll through the entire code just in case. So you can pause this to see if the mistake is here. Okay. You can pause this to see if the mistake is here. Okay. And if the mistake is here, okay, and if you don't have any mistakes from it looks like, then you should check again, and if it all works, you should get this. That is what we have created. See you in episode 3.